and said in a low voice, so as not to frighten the comely stranger on the bridge, "Are you okay, honey?" She pirouetted slowly and faced him. Then, with tears streaming down her face, she stepped back, and with that step, changed the lives of her family forever. Her death surprised no one who loved her, yet none of us got over it completely. Shala was that rarest of suicides. No one held her responsible for the act itself. She was forgiven as instantly as she was missed, and afterward she was deeply mourned. For 3 days I joined the grim-faced crew of volunteers who searched for Shala's remains. Ceaselessly we dragged the length and breadth of the harbor, enacting a grotesque form of braille as hooks felt their way along the mudflats and the pylons of the old bridge that connected Mount Pleasant and Sullivan's Island. 2 boys were crabbing when they noticed her body moving toward them beside the marsh grass. After her funeral, a sadness took over me that seemed permanent, and I lost myself in the details and technicalities connected to death in the South. Great sorrow still needs to be fed, and I dealt with my disconsolate emptiness by feeding everyone who gathered around me to offer their support. I felt as though I were providing sustenance for the entire army in the field, who had come together to ease the malignant ache I felt every time Shala's name was mentioned. The word Shala itself became a landmine. That sweet-sounding word was merciless, and I could not bear to hear it. So I lost myself in the oils and condiments of my well-stocked kitchen. I fatted up my friends and family, attempted complicated recipes I had always put off making, and even tried my hand at Asian cuisine for the first time. With 6 gas burners ablaze, I turned out velvety soups and rib-sticking stews. I alternated between cooking and weeping, and I prayed for the repose of the soul of my sad, hurt wife. I suffered, I grieved, I broke down, and I cooked fabulous meals for those who came to comfort me. It was only a short time after we buried Shala that her parents sued me for custody of my child, Leah, and their lawsuit brought me running back into the real world. I spent a dispiriting year in court trying to prove my fitness as a father. It was a time when I met a series of reptilian lawyers so unscrupulous that I would not have used their marrow to feed wild dogs or their wiry flesh to bait a crab pot. Shala's mother and father had gone crazy with grief, and I learned much about the power of scapegoating by watching their quiet hatred of me as they grimaced through the testimony regarding my sanity, my finances, my reputation in the community, and my sexual life with their eldest child. Though I have a whole range of faults that piqued the curiosity of the court, few who have ever seen me with my daughter have any doubts about my feelings for her. I get weak at the knees at the very sight of her. She is my certification, my boarding pass into the family of man, and whatever faith in the future I still retain. But it was not my overriding love of Leah that won the day in court. Before she took her final drive, Shala had mailed me a letter that was part love letter and part apology for what she had done. When my lawyer had me read that letter aloud to the court, it became clear to Shala's parents and everyone present that laying her death at my feet was, at best, a miscarriage of justice. Her letter was an act of extraordinary generosity, written in the blackest hours of her life. She blew it like a kiss toward me as a final gesture of a rare, exquisite sensibility. Her letter saved Leah for me, but the ferocity of that court battle left me exhausted, bitter, and raw around the edges. It felt as though Shala had died twice. I answered my wife's leap from the bridge and the fierceness of that legal battle with a time of disorientation and sadness, and then with Italy. Toward Europe I looked for respite and hermitage, and the imminence of my secret flight from South Carolina again restored a fighting spirit within me. I had made a good living as a food and travel writer, and running away had always been one of the things I did best. The flight to Europe was my attempt to place the memory of both Shala and South Carolina permanently in the past. I hoped I would save my life and Leah's from the suffocation I was beginning to feel in the place where Shala and I had come of age together. For me, the South was carry-on baggage I could not shed no matter how many borders I crossed. But my